welcome to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Season 5, Episode 10, episode number 190. How's it going?
I think I haven't been paying enough attention when you say these every week because it just really struck me that you said Season 5. I know that we're in Season 5, but it's still crazy.
Well, it's like we're still in that early enough into Season 5 that it still has the shine on it. It's still January. It's still January in the scope of Season 5.
But it's going to kindergarten.
Yeah.
Online, but still.
Right.
Ugh.
Crazy.
Don't talk to me about online schooling. It sucks. Oh, it is. We're in full day and it sucks. But I can't believe that we're 10 episodes in. That means we had our 5th birthday, our birthday party episode celebrating the end of Season 4 11 weeks ago? 12 weeks ago?
A lot of weeks ago.
A lot of weeks ago.
A lot of weeks ago, which is crazy because that happens mid-year. So it's oh yeah, it's September.
I can't even believe that it's September. I had a visual to show you my new notebook. This sticker is courtesy of my friend Carmen, who listens to this show. And I put it front and center on the notebook.
Love it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. So for anybody...
Love that it's a moleskin, too.
What?
I said I love that it's a moleskin. It's a nice notebook.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's actually
classic.
not. It's a moleskin knockoff.
Well,
hey, it looks good.
Thank
That's all
you.
that matters. It looks good.
it looks good enough to fool me.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's I usually use a brand called it's like a Lichtenstein or something. I don't know. It's a German brand. But this time around I liked this blue color the best. It's Ernest is the brand of the notebook that I shall use for the last quarter of the year, and God help us, I hope we all get through the year.
Yeah. The anxiety is starting to set in.
The notebook I usually use, the brand is called Leuchtturm. Leuchtturm 1917, and that is I really like theirs. They're numbered. They whatever. But like I said, this blue spoke to me more than their blue.
Nice.
Anyway, blue tsunami, everybody. Blue tsunami. But here we are, as we were saying, 10 episodes into Season 5. 190 episodes in. We will be taking next week off, the week of September 11th. We will be taking the week off for Labor Day. We'll be back on the September 15th. September 21st is the next Broad Topic show. And on September 22nd, we will be live with the Hangout level patrons. So if you'd like to become a patron before then, go to patreon.com/JayandJack. Otherwise, or go to jayandjack.com and click on the Become a Patron link in the top right-hand corner of the page. I feel like there was so much to say. Oh, that's right. Also, as we are this first couple of days of September, happy birthday to John the UPS guy and Joanne with a Plan. And Greg, happy birthday, everybody.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, happy birthday. So many good birthdays.
I kayaked for 7 miles on Sunday with a group of geocachers. It was fun.
Good on ya.
Yeah, and the only thing that really hurts is my upper shoulders and neck area, which means I totally didn't kayak right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think that just means you kayaked, honestly, and probably haven't kayaked for a long time.
I had not kayaked at all. Last year, we used to kayak a lot, and then we hadn't in a while, and then we started renting canoes to take the kids out on a couple of times a year, and we haven't done anything this year, so... But yeah, I feel good. That night was rough, though. That day was... I mean, I came back and I laid on the couch for 2 hours. This was I can't move.
So how did you come to be kayaking with a group of geocachers?
Somebody asked me if I wanted to join them. And,
is it like a Facebook group, like a Raleigh geocachers group, or?
Well, there is a Facebook group, but I wasn't invited through the Facebook group. I was just invited by somebody that I've met like while out and about doing it, and have gone with her to do some geocaches before. And, you know, she was like, I'm putting a group together. Are you interested? Another person has extra kayak. And I was like, yeah, totally. I'm like, I miss doing social things with people, and I like doing social things with people. So let's do this.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was really fun. Like I said, I only hurt, you know, a lot, but
but in a good way.
In a good way. Anyway, what did you guys do? Because again, that was it. I went kayaking. It was the first thing I had done in months. That was, you know, not Costco on a Sunday. And yeah, it was great.
We actually had camping reservations for this last weekend.
That's right.
I was going to take a long weekend and go camping, and then the state caught on fire. So the fires were looking much better. They're much better here, by the way. But where we were going, it was also looking better. Like some of the fires around there were mostly contained, but the air quality was still shit. So we were like, do we really want to drive five hours to just like camp and smoke? And
right,
you know, in your tent, like you can't even escape it. So, and there was really no guarantee that it would like how the air quality would be. So. We decided to cancel it, but I kept the days off, and it was nice. I just had like a long weekend, basically at home, pretty low key, but it was nice. I finished the August Yoga with Adrian calendar.
Nice.
Well done.
Yes, very excited about that, and I'm going to try to do September also. I might miss the first, but I feel like even for August, it wasn't necessarily that I did yoga every single day, but I did every single video. Sometimes, like, you know, there might be a day where like you don't get it in. It's for men. Then you got to double up the next day, but that's fine. Especially with most of her videos being like 20 minutes. Like I feel like that's okay, and you still do it. I feel like that's completion. Also, yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, and then I don't know if you guys remember from the beginning part of quarantine, I took a class online.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was going to do, it was like a leadership class, and I was going to do this like whole like certificate in like organizational leadership or some, you know, thing like that, which I was going to say some bullshit like that, but it is actually really interesting, and it's like directly applicable to my job, but whatever. Then I took a term off and kind of like thought about, you know, do I want to continue with that? What do I want to do? Because I could take any class, and then I kind of became overwhelmed with the possibilities. Like, I could take an art class. I could take like a photography class. I could take a drawing class. I could take like a philosophy class. Like any class, all the classes. Like what? How do you focus? And so I sat with it for a few weeks and decided that I am going to pursue a bachelor's degree in environmental science because I think that's really interesting. And I don't know if I'll do anything with it, but it'll be nice to have the possibility.
Yeah.
So like I'm like officially enrolled in the program. All of my undergraduate and graduate and all of the like multitude of classes I've taken in my life have been transferred over. And so I don't have, you know, very much left to take. It's mostly just like the actual science stuff. So I started yesterday, my geology class. So yes, I am going to be learning about rocks and all of that fun stuff. And it's exciting because it's totally different from anything that I ever studied. Like all of my studies have been, you know, like languages, art, like that kind of thing, for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since I've been in a science class, but I'm like much more interested in it and ready for it now than I think I would have been before. And it's also like a 100 level class.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, you got this.
Yeah, I feel like I might. But it'll be interesting and fun to, you know, learn about the rocks and whatnot. Yeah.
Learn about the rocks, you know.
Learn about the rocks,
etc.
Love it.
Yeah.
That is so good. That is so good.
I'm like the old lady in the class who, like, I mean, I didn't say anything, but like, I like have 2 master's degrees, and I, you know, and now I'm like, oh, I'm going to start college over. Why not?
Why not? I think that's cool. That's like you're doing what like people I feel like go through their whole career and like wait till they retire and then they go back to school to just like get a degree in something that interests them. You're just going to jump on that.
Yes.
I love it. I think that's totally the way to do it. If I had the time, the brain power, I would totally do this. You are an inspiration. This is great.
Anyone can do it. But it's like, what am I interested in that I never got to study before? Because that was always the problem for me, honestly, was focusing. Like, right. I would get so distracted. Like, I was like doing my master's in French literature and also simultaneously taking archaeology classes. Like
right.
It was, you know, kind of ridiculous, but yeah. So yeah, that's been my weekend, and I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
That's great. That's like a lot more eventful than my weekend. What did I didn't do much. I did chores. I did. I met up with a friend in the neighborhood on Sunday, and we went for a nice long walk, and we like went and got a snack at like one of the restaurants that has open air dining in our neighborhood. Yeah. And it was just like, I think it was really nice in that regard to just like kind of remember what it's like to just like have in-person contact with people and like just like have real conversation with a real human.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. Like, and it's just so like soul affirming in a way that I had really forgotten. Like we both like left our afternoon together and it was just like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much I needed this. Like, this was so much fun. Like, thank you for hanging out with me. No, thank you for hanging out with me. And it was just like really, it was very cup filling in a way that I had kind of forgotten. So it was such a lovely, lovely treat.
That is wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amanda, how did you feel about the big scandal this morning with the hashtag defund the NPR because they're, quote, a liberal organization that spreads fake news and lives off of the taxpayer money?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it. So you're getting real-time response.
I think you had to be in certain circles looking for outrage to... I was sitting in the OBGYN's office, like awkwardly searching Twitter with my phone because I'm sitting there, you know, with only the sheet over me, waiting. She's like, "I'll be right back, okay? I'll just give you a minute." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in a dress. I can get undressed in less than a minute. I'll be right." She's like, "I'll be right back." And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, "I'm still sitting here with just the little, as we talked about before, the little half open thing." So anyway. I'm like, I was like, why is defund the NPR trending? And apparently the tweet that really triggered a whole bunch of people whose entire purpose in life is not what's good or what's right or even what's, best for them. It's literally just about making other people cry. Got very offended over a tweet with a link to an NPR article that said, President Trump declined to condemn the actions of the suspected 17-year-old shooter of 3 protesters against police brutality in Kenosha, claiming, without evidence, that it appeared the gunman was acting in self-defense. And I mean...
That's just a factual statement.
Yeah. That's what happened.
That is just what happened.
So anyway, yes.
So defund NPR. People are upset over
because
facts.
they're reporting facts.
It's America in 2020. Continue.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
the thing is, like,
the
if
best
you're going
part.
to take that position of defending this 17-year-old boy, then you have to, what's the word?
Go fuck yourself?
Yeah.
You definitely have to go fuck yourself, but you have to take responsibility for that. Like, you have to own up to...
It was self-defense.
If you're going to support that point of view, you have to own up to it. So you can't be mad when...
It was self-defense. He was on the ground. They were coming after him.
They were coming after him. He might have gotten a skateboard thrown at him because, I don't know, he had just fucking shot someone in the head, but okay. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe self-defense isn't driving 30 miles across state lines while being too young to carry a weapon that is illegal for you to be carrying out in the open in another state and walking right by police who surely had to have known the law that they're trying to uphold would, law and order, maybe tell the kid to go home or, arrest him or something, whatever, you know.
Give him a stern talking to at the least.
I know.
Yeah. This is why, like, I mean, we really do need to scrap the Second Amendment. Like, it's a total piece of shit thing.
But that wasn't even Second Amendment. Like, that was just...
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's our obsession, our collective obsession with the Second Amendment, combined with, you know, our racism and everything. It's like, it's created the perfect storm for this to happen. Because,
sorry.
Like, I mean, we need to get to the root of the problem, which is this kid being radicalized and brainwashed. Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if we didn't have the Second Amendment, if we weren't so fucking obsessed with you know, weapons, then it would have been harder for that brainwashed and radicalized kid to have the gun to then be walking around with it. So
we also have a huge population who literally, like, there's a video, it showed self-defense, and it's like, did you watch all of the video? Like, it clearly shows that he is a murderer. And it's, I don't mean to laugh at it, but, like, as Shandy was saying, like, I mean, I honestly spent a good portion of the last couple of days being like, I am genuinely concerned that we are actually going to have, like, massacres in our streets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't even think that's a hyperbole. Like, I think that it's not within the realm of possibility, and I think that in and of itself is terrifying.
Yeah, I know. And, like, because even, like, on the others, like, the other night, then, like, a Trump supporter ended up getting killed, but they don't know if it was friendly fire or not. At least that last I heard, it wasn't known who shot him. So, like, but, like, even, like, that's putting yourself in a situation, like, they were brought, that particular group, I think, was organized through Facebook and went there for the intention of causing trouble. And, like, that's, you know, like, the protests don't have to be anything other than peaceful, and when they want to go out there as outside agitators, like, it's putting everyone's life in danger, you know, whether you're the one with the gun or without the gun. Like, you know, you're I mean, it's just, I don't understand the thought process between, like, I have that same feeling of dread I had back when, like, we first went to war, and you know, I was like, but people are going to die. And, like, I keep like having this thought, like, but people are going to die. And I don't understand why we're doing this to each other. I mean, I get it, but I also,
later we'll still be in it.
But I mean,
and the
like,
weapons of mass destruction,
like, here, like,
there.
on our, like, what's happening now. Like, I don't understand the mentality. I mean, I will never be a disenfranchised white man, I suppose, but I just don't understand.
And thank goodness for that.
I don't understand the mentality. Like, you have a group of people who are just there asking to stop being murdered, and then a group of people that are like, "Fuck your feelings, I'm going to,
murder you."
It's just,
right. I'm so offended by you saying that, like, you just don't want to be killed by people that are supposed to protect you. How dare you? How dare you? I find that offensive to my well-being.
And
it's mind-boggling.
Right? It's like, what do they not being killed for having a broken taillight, like, what does that have to do with your life? Like, that does nothing to do, like, I don't, you're just a hateful person. Like, you're just looking for a fight. Like, I'm sorry that your life is that sad, and, like, I don't get it. Like, just, like, to the point where you're going to go there for the intention of looking. And, like, somebody, maybe it was me, maybe it was Twitter, but I had read, somebody was like, if you're crossing state lines with a gun, that's not defending property. That's called hunting. And, like, who is, like, why do you need to go out there and do that? Like, don't you realize that people are going to die, and it could be you? So, like, I don't understand. I don't understand the mentality of somebody who just, you know, doesn't get, like, you're not playing with, like, play guns. You're playing with real guns, real weapons, and real lives. Like, how do you have that much hatred in your heart?
Well, I mean, again, it's like, it's eerily similar to, you know, you see these accounts of people in, like, you know, different Western countries, like, you know, a lot of the times perhaps in Europe, who are being radicalized and, like, go over and join ISIS.
Right.
And like not really sure what the big differences are here, because like that's again this boy, and I'm not excusing him, but he was definitely radicalized and sort of and used, and he just fed right into that. And I think what surprises me the most, though, is not necessarily the people like him who are actually going all the way to action, is the people who are still in the party despite it.
Well, and I was actually talking about this with my coworkers today, including one of them that, is conservative and is very pro Second Amendment. And even she was just like, and, I brought up how I was having a discussion with somebody yesterday and somebody else, not related to work. And they were saying, how much it bothered some of the stuff that, like the little boy that got killed in North Carolina, and a woman was almost raped in the subway in New York City, and how upset they were that things are just really, what's going on in the world is just really hitting them close to home. And I wanted to be like, wow, if things you're hearing about on the news are hitting close to home to you, imagine how it feels to be a member of a community that literally just wants to stop being murdered for the color of their skin. Just imagine how they must feel. But and I was telling that story to some of my coworkers today, and my conservative coworker was like, but the perpetrators of both of those incidences were arrested or are in jail, right? And I was like, yes. And I was so happy that I put my mask on, got up and hugged her. So she was like, but aren't they protesting because there's no accountability when police officers kill black people? And I was like, yes. And she goes, yeah, so I don't get what the problem is. And I was like, thank you. I have done it. And my boss was like, here's some hand sanitizer. You guys can high five now. But I was so thrilled. I was like, yes, like it's not going on deaf ears. Like sometimes it feels like it, but the people who are receptive, I am glad that they are like reading and educating themselves as they should. And then, I don't know, after November, we can all go back to arguing over, I don't know, school choice and tax cuts.
Yeah, I suppose I do miss the days where those were the things that we were getting all hot under the collar about.
God, what I wouldn't give for just a abortion argument again. Right. Those were the days.
That being said, it is all connected.
But
it is.
But we need some of those people. We always said the first 3 years, when are the Republicans going to speak out? When are the Republicans like going to stand up to him? I'm not going to be picky with the ones that are willing to stand up and be like, all right,
just be good, decent human beings. Yeah.
Right. I will have, we can go back to arguing policy in January 2021.
I would still like for them to stop trying to control women, but yeah, but please, if you're ready to come over to the light,
we can discuss that later.
Yes, we'll put pin in that.
Yeah, let's start where we agree, and then we'll branch out from there. I have heard that's how politics used to work once upon a time.
Mm-hmm. And although the underlying issue of wanting to control women is linked to these other issues that we're seeing flame up now. So we do really need to nip that in the bud also. But still, we're just
putting a pin in it. It's just a pin. The pin can come out.
But something? Those people that are willing to listen about Black Lives Matter, they might be willing to listen about other things.
It's possible.
Yep. I think it is possible.
This is what we've come to, because that is such a low fucking bar.
I know. It's a low bar.
Yep.
We're not going to get any systemic change or anything, really like moving forward or fixing anything, but it's the small victories, I suppose.
Yep.
The lowest of the bars, and then you gradually move up. I don't know.
Forward, one step back. Eventually we'll get there.
Yeah. Other fun things that are trending on Twitter right now, Strokeahontas. No.
Nope. I can't even begin to imagine what that is.
The report that, you guys didn't hear about this? So there's a book coming out, and in the book, there were some whistleblowers that told the author that Donald Trump has had a series of strokes, mini strokes, and when he went to Walter Reed back last year, which was almost a year ago, by the way, doesn't feel like it, but it was.
Insane.
Like apparently, according to this whistleblower inside the White House, apparently. Mike Pence was told that he needed to be on standby to take the oath of office because the president was potentially going to have to go under anesthesia. So he would have to be acting president for however long the president was not conscious.
Wow, that's actually, like, politics aside, that is a fascinating little tidbit that I didn't realize happened.
I knew that from all these shitty disaster movies I watch.
I believe I knew that from The West Wing.
I think I did. Oh, yes, I did too. That's right.
Yep. And when he enacts the 25th, he was like, because I am so distraught over my daughter being kidnapped, someone else needs to take over the presidency for a hot sec while I go deal with my feelings.
Didn't a recent poll or internet-wide vote list him as if you could bring any fictional character, no matter who it was, to be president for real in 2020? And Jed Bartlett won. I might have to do a rewatch.
He was a great president. He was a great president.
He was. But yeah, so Strokahontas is trending because, it's hilarious and he's a horrible human being. I'm assuming it's a play on the Pocahontas thing that he calls Liz Warren.
That would be my guess.
Let's see. Anything else? Anything else fun trending right now? Soup is trending. Should I check it out?
Soup. Chicken noodle.
Oh,
maybe everybody else is making chicken noodle soup today.
Well, it won't load. Oh, well. At least we'll always have Strokahontas. I guess Twitter must be down. Like everything else on the internet is down. But in honor of John the UPS guy's birthday, I had found something on BuzzFeed, and it's postal workers are revealing the things that they wish customers knew. And it's, tips from ways to help your mail carriers, the people that bring you your mail and packages. But anyway, just in case you're looking for ways to help your postal workers as we come up to a very busy season while they're already very stressed. Ways to help your postal worker. The first one is, so this is their responses when they were asked. Had one house that always left me a bottle of ice cold water.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. I have a running tic-tac-toe game going with some kids on my route.
That's really cool.
They have a paper hanging off the mailbox. We do one X or O a day. I'm not sure who looks forward to it more, me or them. I kind of love that. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Another person said that they love getting pictures drawn from kids along the route. Thank you letters, cold water, ding-dongs, and other treats. Nice. Yeah. Let's see. Keep in mind that mail carriers don't have air conditioning in their vehicles. One of them died from extreme heat in 2018. So I guess that's why the ice cold water is always appreciated.
Damn.
Wow.
Can confirm. Oh, somebody else was confirming that they don't have the AC. You can buy a battery-powered mini fan that clips to something in the truck as a treat, or as a gift, rather. Notes and cards go a long way. Saying hi, being friendly. I don't know. I still try to talk to Roberto, and he has zero interest. Zero interest in talking to me. Zero interest. The number one nice thing that you could do is get a bigger mailbox. Let's see. Stop putting your garbage in front of your mailbox. I am guilty of doing that, actually. I do. More cold water. Looks like cold water is like a really, really big thing. Big answer for another ice cold bottle of water. Be friendly and understanding if something is later missing. A lot of stuff right now is out of our control. It's coming straight down from the top.
Literally just the messenger.
Yes.
Literally.
Put numbers on your damn mailbox or house. Send cards and legit letters to people. Tear down your piece of shit lockbox that nothing fits in and get an actual mailbox.
It's my landlord's hands.
Yep. I got no control over that.
Although I suppose in New York, you guys just have like a big general thing where everyone throws their shit, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's always
and people are just
so much like mail slots as it's just like, a big room. Imagine like a giant ball pit, but instead of balls, it's just everybody's mail.
Right. And you're like, this is from the Board of Elections. This is from the Board of Elections. Here's one for you. Yeah. Here's one for you. Oh, you want 2? All right. That'll be another 5. You want to slip me 10?
You get one. And you get
one. Everybody got one, so I'll just take this person's. It's fine. They can have mine. It's whatever.
Only you were able to, if only you showed your ID to get that mail. Anyway, to finish this out, because there's a lot, when I scroll down, there's a lot of people that liked water.
Hydration is very important.
And then, to finish up, all I ask for is, for the love of God, please wear pants when answering the door. I've had straight up naked dudes sign for their package without batting an eye. Smiles and friendliness are appreciated, but with clothing on.
That's a reasonable request.
Totally. I did not know that this was a thing, but of course it is a thing. Yes. And of course it's the dudes who are coming to the door.
That's what I was going to say. Of course it's male.
Males for the mail.
Yep. Males for the mail.
Oh my God. I got a breaking news alert as we were...
It's 2020. That doesn't necessarily mean good news.
Breaking news. Melania Trump used private email accounts while in the White House.
Of course she
did.
But
her emails?
Of course she did.
Doesn't she know?
Didn't the whole family, isn't this kind of old news? Hashtag side note, nobody apparently cares.
I think we knew about Jared and Ivanka. We knew about Trump not using a government phone, like he's still using his same old phone for Twitter. I'm pretty sure Trump probably does not have an email. They probably did not even bother to set him up one.
I'm sure he would not know how to use it.
So we're just rounding it out, though. It's the whole family. It's just
the whole family. The whole family.
I wonder, anyone who's listening to this podcast, which is maybe like 2 people, who actually said that they cared about Hillary's emails. I'm asking you directly, do you have the same fire about this? And why not?
Something, she's not Secretary of State, something. I've answered it for you. There was also I like how we're kind of all over the place with this middle section tonight, but there was this really dumb fucking 6% QAnon sponsored meme thing going around this week. Did anybody come across that? That was a headache and a half. So essentially, the Russian bots were in full force and they were promoting this. They took a snippet of the CDC's website out of context and they were promoting the theory that, the coronavirus death rate is actually a lie. And really only 6% of people who have died from COVID. The rest were comorbidities, meaning, if their cause of death was listed as respiratory failure, they didn't die from COVID. They died from respiratory failure.
I heard that kind of stuff, that kind of rhetoric at the very beginning.
Right. Well, now it's back with a vengeance because
Jesus Christ.
Everybody and their mother was sharing it. And it was like, look, when you're in a car accident and you don't die from a car accident. You die from injuries related to a car accident. So if you have a heart attack and you technically die of heart failure, you don't die from the heart attack. Like the heart attack contributed to your heart stopping. Just like coronavirus.
If you're HIV positive and you die from AIDS, you don't die from AIDS. You die from the infection that was able to kill you because the AIDS
has lowered your immune system.
Screwed your immune system. Come on, people.
Yes. Well, it was a big outrage, and I was just like, this is truly the dumbest timeline between that and the defund the NPR thing, which we didn't even, that's how we started. We didn't even focus on the fact that they're funded by the fucking people. Like, they're not even funded by the government.
Public media, the amount of budget or the amount of money that public media entities receive from the government is like,
it's less than
6 to 8% of their total operating budget. Like, it is not a huge amount.
NPR's website said, because this went around too, that they're less than 2% of their total budget comes from competitive grants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right.
They're not funded really by the taxpayers. So, dumbest timeline. But I don't know, if you saw that 6% thing going around, I urge you to find some more reputable sources. Dr. Fauci has been making the rounds trying to debunk it. It's not, coronavirus is still bad. Like, just because you die of pneumonia and not COVID, you got the pneumonia because you had the COVID.
Right. And if you're in that situation, I don't think you're really going to be splitting the hairs.
Right. And when you talk about things like comorbidity, you're talking about factors that make you higher risk, right? So if they're saying that, well, only 6% of people actually died from it, so just, blah, 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 blah. Obesity, right? Obesity is listed on the CDC's website as a comorbidity that puts you at higher risk of serious complications or death from COVID-19. 60% of this country is obese. So it's like dumbasses. That still means a high percentage of the population is at risk.
Right.
Right. Oh, God, it's just like we just love shooting ourselves in the foot time and time again. Like, Dr. Fauci is busy, dude. He's got more important things to do than to save us from ourselves.
Do you remember that one time Dr. Fauci had surgery, and while he was under general anesthesia, they changed the COVID guidelines?
Yeah. Like, the poor man has probably not slept in 2020 because every time he does, everybody goes batshit crazy.
I can't even imagine.
We don't deserve him, I think.
I can't even imagine like the high stress position of meeting
oh my
some
God.
of those people.
I'm stressed out, and I'm from here. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
Especially when you're faced with such like grave and complex problems, but then you spend most of your time like explaining essentially like the medical equivalent of the ABCs to people.
Yeah,
right. It's like, why do I have to spell this out for you?
It's like, did you not progress past like a third grade level of critical thinking skills? Like, what's going on here, people?
But that's the problem is so many people, we've talked about the education system. Like, we have a serious problem.
Yeah, sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all interconnected.
Yes. Again, so if you want to come to our side, we can put a pin in that tax cut discussion, but we're definitely having it eventually because we need to fucking fund the education system. Yep. And some tax money would be good for that. Just saying. Yes, interconnected. Boom.
I really do feel if we could just straighten out public education in this country, I feel like so many other issues would be well on their way to being solved as a direct result of just taking more time to really bolster how we educate people in this country.
100% agree with you.
Yes. The whole system. From birth to career. Like, we just need to overhaul the whole thing. Yeah. It's just not working. So many people.
We need to inject a lot of money into education. It needs because it really could be the great equalizer, but it's not going to work if rich people keep getting to just privatize education, and then public education is just not funded, and it doesn't help if you pay teachers shit.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just so much money needs to be thrown at that.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Agreed.
Just across the board, think about the opportunities that people could have. Like, in a low income like what if being from a low income family didn't have the same sort of like effect on the rest of your life? So we like to think of ourselves as a classless society. That's obviously
not a
true.
classless society,
which is utter bullshit. Which is utter bullshit.
Yeah. But like, what if you had okay, you're never going to have the same opportunities as rich kids, but what if you had at least like, much closer in terms of like the quality education? Like maybe you're not going to have the opportunity to like travel all over the world and do, other cool, expensive stuff, but at least you could have like a really good, solid education.
Right.
And have the same chance of getting into like, really good colleges.
Right.
As everyone else.
Something like education shouldn't be tied to your socioeconomic status, because that is where most people get their, what's the word I'm looking for? Like their stepping stones, like their solid foundation for the rest of it. And if you're not going to invest early on, then it just keeps putting people that, children and young adults at like more of a disadvantage, and it's more of a hole that they have to climb out of. And there are the success stories. We hear about them. They're lauded on the right, right? The ones that bootstrap their way up. But there are some people who don't even get laces, and it's hard. It is unfortunate.
We can't keep celebrating the exception.
Right. Without addressing the rule. Because yes, there will always be certain advantages that the haves have that the have-nots don't, like being able to take private sports lessons or music lessons or, certain things. There will be, but like it doesn't have to be, the basic foundation of like just getting an education. And like you can even see it watching, like hearing the different student stuff as they're at home learning. It's just it's frustrating, and it's frustrating and depressing, like on all sorts of levels. Like just it's tough. It's tough for me, and I'm lucky enough that I can give Zach my attention if he needs it, and he does get a lot of support at home, and we were able to, wipe an old computer and like set him up on it. We weren't one of those kids, those families that had to wait like 2 weeks to get their laptop, or, that I think he had a student that joined just like this week, the start of the third week of school, because they didn't have access to something, and the school district is trying as hard as they can to get the Chromebooks out to everyone. So it's just tough. And then even for as many advantages as Zachary has, like he can't stop paying attention to everything else around him. I have to literally take everything away from him that's not just the stuff that he needs, because he will figure out a way to slump in his chair and not pay attention. So like it's just I know that's the point.
That was little Amanda as a student.
Oh, I'm picturing little Amanda to be so cute.
I know she had to have been cute.
She had a completely clear kitchen table to do homework at, because she would find anything to distract herself. Nope, I'm taking that. I sympathize with Zachary. I'd love to tell him it gets better, but short attention spans.
I think he just needs to be back in class.
There's only so many tricks and tips you can work yourself into.
But my point was, he's got all this advantage, and like he has somebody that's able to sit there and like physically like lift him up sometimes, but like sit up. Like there's some parents that can't even be there to like, or have to, because it's tough. If I'm in a meeting and he's doing it, I can't keep an eye on him like completely. And then all of a sudden he's playing with markers and they're in an airplane and he's not listening. So like, but like, not everyone has the opportunity to be able to like snap at their kid, like, get up, stop it.
Yeah.
And I do that because I love him, Devin. I want him to succeed. That's why I snap at him to get up and pay attention. But, I don't know how this became like the most depressing middle of the show ever.
It's just a product of the times,
Yeah.
You know, it's just one more shining example of how this pandemic is not the great equalizer that it was heralded to be, but it is 100% the opposite. That it is exposing every disparity across the board, and education is just one of them.
Right. Yeah, and again, like we all see that, and I just hope that the people who I'm hoping will come across the aisle, I just hope that they can see it too, because it's like one of those things, like when there's a giant elephant in the room, like how do you not see it?
Right.
That's what I don't understand. So I'm hoping that they will join us.
But how are we going to pay for that? Rhetorical question.
Right. Yeah.
Ideas.
I would say this is my question also to like the two people who listen to our podcast who are fiscally conservative. My question, I mean, I think we probably all agree that like billionaires shouldn't exist. Like that shouldn't be a thing. And when I say all of us, I mean the three of us on this podcast. My question to those people who are fiscally conservative, like, do you agree with that statement? Yes or no? Just going to throw that out there. See if anyone answers back. And I don't need like a long explanation. It's a yes or no question. Yes or no?
TheBroadcasters3@gmail.com, 331-276-2373, or leave it in the Facebook group. The other really, I guess while we're on like disturbing news, the other shitty thing that happened this week was Chadwick Boseman died.
Oh my God.
And I freaking cried my eyes out, and I was a hot mess. I mean, what a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a really tough one.
It was like I don't know many even names of like famous people, and I really don't follow their lives and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if it came out of left field for everyone. It sounded like they were pretty private about it.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was public knowledge.
So it seems like he was sort of in between treatments even when he was filming.
Yeah. He was diagnosed in 2016, and he filmed Black Panther, Endgame, Infinity Wars, and a whole bunch of other movies while he was sick and in between.
And that makes that
chemo and
impressive.
Surgery. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
basically everything he's done in the Marvel universe, he was doing knowing he had a cancer diagnosis.
Yeah. And nobody had any idea that he was sick.
Yeah.
Although, and not to get pessimistic, I suppose, but at some point, I think Marvel had to have known. Like that, I think for the insurance,
according to the
story, like I think they had to know at some point, and I think kudos to everyone for doing such a good job of like, I assume respecting his wishes and keeping it private.
I don't know about the higher ups, but the director of Black Panther said that he did not know until this past year.
Wow.
Whether the other people involved knew or what, but rest in power, Chadwick. Do we want to finish this out before we do feedback with some dad jokes?
Sure.
Tasia will love this part particularly.
Good. What did the drummer call his twin daughters? Anna 1, Anna 2. What's better than Ted dancing? Ted singing and dancing. I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day. What does a baby computer call his father?
Data.
Yes!
Nicely done.
Does anyone need an arc? I know a guy. Noah guy. Arc.
Oh, okay.
But
that one just went by a little too quick for me.
What do you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire? Frostbite.
Yeah.
What does a zombie vegetarian eat? I love Amanda's trying to figure it out face.
I am. I'm super trying to figure it out. No, I got nothing.
Grains. Get it?
See, I knew it was something with brains, and I couldn't figure out what a vegetarian version of brains would be.
Grains.
Grains.
Okay. What do you call a can opener that doesn't work?
A can
opener?
A can't opener.
I mostly liked how much you liked that. That made the joke.
How does Moses make his tea? He brews it. All right. Okay, one more. Ready? A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." He's a ham sandwich. Okay, nobody thought that was as funny. A communist joke isn't funny unless everybody gets it. All right, whatever. None of these are funny, so you're going to have to take that last one. Okay, one more. What's Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1. Tough crowd tonight. Tough crowd. Why are cats bad storytellers? Because they only have one tail. All right, there we go. I'm done. I'm calling it quits.
Tap it out.
The fish hook is pulling me off of the stage. But let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll do some feedback. All right, we are back, and it is time to get into some feedback. The first bit of feedback we have is from Alice. Shandy, do you want to share this part?
Yeah, I was actually talking to Alice on Instagram because I noticed she posted about the Chanel Miller memoir, Know My Name. And she said that it's the best book she's read all year. So I was like, oh, wow, okay, I really need to reserve it again at the library because I had sort of put a hold on it and then like got it. But then I was kind of like, am I feeling it? Because, it's in case anyone doesn't remember, it's the memoir of the woman who Brock Turner raped and subsequently spent less time in prison than we've spent in quarantine. And anyway, so when I first reserved it at the library, I was like, I had heard it was good. I wanted to read it, but then it's like, oh my God, like, it's just really hard subject matter. So I was kind of not feeling it. But Alice, it's not the first time I've heard her talk about it. And so I thought, wow, that's very high praise. And I know that's not the kind of book that she usually reads either. So for her to say that it's the best book she's read all year, said, wow, I should probably look into that. And she says it would be great if the broadcast covered it in some way. So I second that. If anyone out there has read it or is planning on reading it, maybe we can do a little broadcast book club and talk about it.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, let us know if you're interested in doing that. I'm trying really, really hard to read a book before quarantine is over. Really, really hard. Thank you, Alice.
You will do it. I have faith in you.
Thank you, Alice, though. Yeah, if anybody does want to do a broadcast book club, we can totally set that up. Maybe we could do like a little separate Zoom kind of thingy and like put it in as a segment in the show or something.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay, yeah, let us know if there's interest in doing that. You guys know how to find us. Moving on. Erin says, Amanda, I'm not sure if there's an update on the new pillow in this next episode, but can you tell us how you're liking the Coop pillow? I had started researching them a week or two ago, and the amount of pillows in this world is overwhelming, but this brand was on my list. Also, do you have the original or the Eden?
Yes. So I realized I did forget to give an update last week. I have the Eden, because they so you go to their website, you can like take a little quiz, and that's what they suggested. And I'm a lemming, and I was like, "Yep, okay, I trust you, pillow experts." But yeah, no, it's been working out pretty well for me. I still have a little bit of like neck issues, but I think that is just more a me sleeping problem than the pillow. But I am going to try. You can like take stuffing in and out of the pillow, so I think I'm going to try and take some stuffing out and see if that helps any. But all in all, it's a solid product, and I recommend.
Nice.
I
hope that helps you, Erin.
I hope so too.
The next bit of feedback is from Matt. Matt says, I've been catching up on I May Destroy You on HBO, written, co-directed, produced, and starring Michaela Cole. Inspired by her experience, it's about a woman trying to reclaim her life after being raped. Obviously not an easy watch, but Cole knows how to handle this material sensitively. Also in my hashtag quarantine reading, I finished Empire of Gold, which was a solid end to this name again, Daevabad trilogy. I feel like we're getting it like so much quicker now to the Daevabad trilogy. Currently, about 100 or so pages from finishing Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. It is an alternate history of a young woman born of a white woman and a slave in the middle of a civil war. Then the zombies show up. Flash forward to a few years, and the child is now a pupil at a school where former slaves and their descendants, as well as indigenous people, train to fight the undead, while rich white people live safely in walled-up settlements. Entertaining, but also a good social commentary.
Interesting.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time to move into the That's What She Said.
I've had that moment several times this week.
We could not believe it had gone so fast.
Instead of go fuck yourself, maybe let us offer you some assistance?
I have something for you guys.
This is as hard as it gets? No, it just gets harder.
Instead, I just got off.
Matt, there you go. There's one for next week.
Someone else needs to see this.
I watched the clip of her. I watched the clip of her doing the thing.
Are they cutting in, or is this the end?
We can definitely squabble about how much should have been in there.
We might have to take a pee break before we do it.
Truth.
Mm-hmm.
That does feel right.
After.
Yes,
Yeah,
always take a pee break after.
Very
Otherwise, you could get a UTI.
Very important.
Sorry, who's next?
Yeah, Shandy, do you want to read yours again? So I speak all over you.
That does feel right.
We're almost done, baby.
Just as exciting the second time around.
I respect that position.
It's done after 5.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate that as always. And then finishing up this week, we have an email from Andy.
If Amanda, if you want to read it, maybe since I'm having
because of the that's true. Okay. Yep. All right. So this week in Andy's social distancing. Hey, broads. I am so disappointed your new troll didn't make it long enough in the show to get to my email. I'm sure his insights would have been so cutting. Maybe he would have called me a cuck. Cuck? What is a cuck?
Really?
It is a person who has been cuckolded, which means that their female spouse has cheated on them.
Understood.
It's okay. more currently, see Falwell, comma Jerry Jr.
Understood. All right, I'm just gonna.
It's one of those words
top for easy editing purposes.
No. Let's just keep it in because this part's
also,
hilarious.
Side note: in French, this person is called cocu, so it's interesting because they're like you can see how the words are linked, and the color associated with a person who is cuckolded, who is a cuck, is yellow. In French, at least. I don't know if that holds for English, but
I have no idea what for English. But Amanda, two things. One, you are familiar with the word a cuckold from Hamilton, from the
yes,
the "Say No to This" part song. It's in
I
there.
am indeed.
And two, that's cuck is the rights, like, I don't know, circa 2018. It was like their favorite word to shout at people.
See, I just don't have enough right-wing people in my circles, I guess. It's
a good thing
to run in those crowds. I hadn't heard the
cuck word.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that there's like this whole terminology when it's a man, because he's like emasculated if his wife cheats on him. And then when it's the other way around, it's just called normal.
Right.
It's just called, here's a high five, you sly dog. Shandy's on mute, but she's laughing.
She is.
True. Yes, that was a hearty one.
Oh, dear. All right. Okay. All right. Now that we've got that all squared away. Oh, well. I almost feel bad for him because someone who goes looking for random podcasts to get mad at hasn't got a lot of cool things going on in his life. Truth. Hopefully someday he can let go of that useless anger and get on a path where he can leave people he disagrees with alone. Anyway, I'm glad my last email turned out to be a big hit. We could use a little escape these days, and what better way to do it than a dirty rap song that makes tightly wound conservatives offended.
I wonder if, he ever did find out about that medical condition.
I wonder. Since my last email, not a whole lot has happened in these pandemic times. To be honest, I'm not feeling terribly motivated to date at the moment. COVID-19, the perfect storm of stupidity and insanity that has risen from it and our nightmare political landscape, even one of those would kill the mood for most people. I don't see much of a point in doing so if I don't think physical interactions are a possibility until this passes, which who knows when that'll be. However, that's okay. I'm not really worrying about my sex life or lack thereof these days. That'll probably change when we can truly get back to normal and millions of people starving for human contact can get it again. But for now, it is what it is. Hashtag I'm 6 feet from hers, Andy.
Okay, so I have to add, because Andy, that made me think of this conversation I was having with a friend. She was talking about how much she misses hugging people and, human contact. And, I think she's not alone in this. But we're talking about how, like, the day that we are going to be able to start hugging people again, like, we are going to be so, like, unused to all of this physical contact that the joke was that people will be popping boners left and right when you hug someone, and it's like not even necessarily sexual. It's just like, oh, sorry. Oh, nice to see you. Sorry.
Are you guys at? What are the over under that we're going to have a go back to, like, no masks and hugging before, like, the broadcast season 7?
Before the broadcast season 7?
Yeah.
I think so.
Does anybody else,
I think certain people, like, you can, I think, like, close friends will be hugging by then.
I hope so.
Because that's in more than a year from now.
Yeah, that's 2 years from now, because we're in season 5.
That's 2 years from now.
I'm just asking a question.
I certainly hope so.
I hope so, but
like, I agree that this is going to be longer than any of us originally sort of was, like, mentally preparing for, but 2 more years? Yeah. I guess we'll see.
Check on the extroverts in your life, everybody.
Yeah.
We are still
also,
stalling.
I think a lot of it will also depend on what happens in November.
True. Does anybody watch, that's a good point. Does anybody watch, like, TV shows or movies now and be like, why the fuck are you standing so close together?
Dude, I've had that experience, and it is weird, and I have to remind myself this was filmed before COVID. It's weird.
I know.
To even be having those thoughts. Oh,
I think it is sheer, like, escapism. Granted, I think I'm also not watching anything terribly current at the moment, so it is easy to just kind of like disappear into like, remember when we could do stuff like that?
Well, we finally finished watching that season of the Great British Baking Show that we've been watching for the last year and a half. The one with Ruby and what's his face. And at the end, the last episode, all the family and friends are sitting outside the tents and they're like picnicking and everybody's hugging each other. And I was like, why are they sitting so close? Why are there masks? Why are they hugging each other? This is just weird. And then I was like, oh, right. It was filmed in like 2014.
I was like, was this something that was filmed in 2014 or was this like a Republican rally?
Yeah.
That's the question.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you for that email, Andy. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for getting through this show that was super happy and positive the entire way. It wasn't at all low energy, doom and gloom.
It had a happy ending.
It did have a happy ending.
It did. It's very true. I won't even start down the rabbit hole. I've already closed the tab with the dad jokes in it. But thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. We will be off next week. So there'll be no new episode on September 11th. We are off for Labor Day, but we will be back again for a new episode the following week. And then we would love to have you join us on Monday, August 21st, via Zoom, for our next broad discussion. I have a feeling that we are going to have a lot to talk about because all of the things have been happening lately. I mean, it's exhausting, but it's mentally exhausting to keep track of everything that is going on right now. As you could tell, like, we never even got to what, some of the things that I think I had like lined up to talk about, because we just kind of started with the defund NPR, and then it's kind of spiraled because there's just so much going on and so much to talk about, which is great because I like talking about it. And we hope that you like listening and that you will join us in talking about it on Monday, September 21st. And I think we'll probably do every other week because then it'll be, I think, 4, right? Until November 3rd, because we would probably do 2 or 3 in, I don't know, whatever. But join us. We hope you will. Looking forward to it. We've got the patron bonus show. We're live with the patrons on the 22nd, the hangout level patrons. If you'd like to become a patron, patreon.com/JandJack. If you can't do that, it's okay. We understand we are in sometimes. If you shop through Amazon and want to help us out by shopping on the Amazon affiliates link, it helps everyone on the network. And that would be jandjack.com/Amazon, all lowercase letters. Broadcasters3@gmail.com, 331-276-2373, Facebook, anything. Anyway, Instagram is the Broadcasters 3, the Broadcast 3 on Instagram. What's our Instagram? Is it the Broadcasters 3? Everybody pulls up their phone.
We are
the Broadcasters 3.
Okay. Check out our Instagram account, the Broadcasters 3. Shandy and Amanda are great on there. All the good content. So thank you guys. I am a terrible Instagrammer. But yeah, check it out. Thank you again for listening. Thank you to the patrons that contribute at a certain level, and that would be Eckhart Rickner Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, Greg the Gray, and Ed the Creepy Mailman. Thank you guys so much. We hope you have a great Labor Day weekend for our American friends and a great weekend in general for our non-American listeners. And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. On that note, my name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.